Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. So, today we're going to talk about how manifesting your wants is getting in the way of you becoming and receiving what you actually need. That's right. It is abusive to the universe to continuously take without taking the time to become what you need to become for the world. And I'm going to be honest, New Age spirituality has convinced people who have actually taken the steps, the beginning steps at least, to the journey of self love and remembering and living your best life. It's taken these people down a path of entitlement, of thinking that the world revolves around them. Everything should happen as they want it because they deserve it. And the truth is that there's a fine line to it. Because, yes, you will recognize that how you've been treated, what you've received, has been nothing in comparison to what you actually deserve. But by continuously manifesting what you want, right? The money, the fame, the career, the job, the people, you are infringing upon destiny. You are taking from other people's paths. You are robbing Earth of its original experience by continuously being greedy and calling in what you want without doing any internal work to remembering who you are. And that's the truth. And what they don't tell you is that by doing the work internally, because we live from the internal, external. That means everything that's going on inside is what's being created and it's what's being, manifested in the world. Once you do the work here, your natural world already starts to become amazing, right? Things start happening in your favor naturally because you started that transformation inside. But, I feel like someone needs to talk about how using these cheat codes, how scripting and doing spells and infringing upon people's free will and literally using codes, this is all manipulation. We need to stop manipulating divine order. The most natural thing to the human experience is to transform. That comes naturally to us. And manifesting isn't some new thing. We've always been the creators. It's just that now the knowledge is mainstream. And of course, when anything becomes mainstream, it's easily manipulated. We are the creators. Duh. That's the bare minimum. That's level 1. We just forgot. And if you'd like to learn more truths about this, because I dive deep, okay? I have a book coming with not only the truths of life, but the truth about who we are and how to face ourselves in honesty so we can actually live a life of freedom. So stay tuned for that, and you can always join my free newsletter below. But yeah, to manipulate the universe is to manipulate yourself. And while you believe that you're creating a better reality for yourself by calling in things and opportunities, what you're really doing is creating a different level of misery because chances are you are still unhappy. You're still unfulfilled because you have continuously relied on the outside things that you've manifested to fill those voids. When, hello, it's your job to fill those voids by facing yourself in honesty. You have to be able to meet your ego, which is the character created from trauma, from the 3D experience. You have to be able to penetrate ego, transform it back to love, its original state, which is you, which is God, thus creating a new reality for you naturally. You see, I can speak on that because I do it in real time. I guess you can say I've become more purpose-driven over pleasure-driven, right? So I don't take time to manifest things in the next situation and to hold on to a plan, but rather I take the time to become. And by becoming, right, by letting my heart break, by facing myself in the mirror and saying, okay, Camila, this is not who you are. Remember, you're actually soft, you're actually tender, you're actually gentle. You're not as chaotic as you used to be. You're not as ghetto as you used to be, as hood, as rough, as aggressive. All of these were personas that I created to keep me safe. But underneath all that, what was buried underneath all of my tears and heartbreak was a flower that was waiting to bloom. And I've allowed it to bloom by every day. I allow every single day to be different, and I allow life to come to me. I believe I say this in every episode because, well, it's important. I allow life to come to me. Yes, I have goals. Yes, I have visions. Yes, again, I have purpose. But instead of being pleasure driven, I've allowed my purpose to be pleasureful, right? I've allowed the process of becoming and remembering who I am to be the source of my dopamine. Me sitting down, sharing my life with you guys it's like I'm eating a 5-star meal. Like it's, oh my God, it's enriching, but it took me time to accept that who I was naturally was enough. And I can only share this point of view because I have been the person who called in the things and who manifested things and, wants out of greed. And my whole world went to shit because, again, I was inviting things into my life that wasn't supposed to be there. Yet alone, I wasn't even the person who could actually enjoy it when I did manifest it. The key to your misery is wanting more, yet alone wanting things that shouldn't even be in your life. Really take the time to consider what you want and then ask yourself, well, is this getting in the way of who I need to be? When you face yourself in honesty with that question alone, I think it'll really be easy for you to let go of all the shit that you're calling into your life. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of you. And the key to that is knowing that there is no best version. You right now is valuable. You clicked on this video. Something pulled you to this video and said, you know what? I have all the things, but I'm still unhappy. You know what? I listen to New Age spirituality, and I'm going to be honest. Humanity needed to be taken to that point, right? Because some way, somehow we needed to wake up, But by manifesting these things, we realize that it's a new foundation of rock bottom. Wow, what's it like to have all the things that I consciously created and to still be unhappy? Humanity had to be there to remember, oh, wait, I'm every single thing that I want. I'm every single thing that I need. So really take the time to analyze all the things that you're calling in your life and why you think that's going to fill your void. Be honest with yourself and who you are. You are what the world needs. We need your authenticity. We need your mind. We need your soul. That one thing that you loved doing as a kid, pick it up again. The one thing that brings you joy without logical explanation, do that every day, or in moderation. I don't know what your authenticity looks like. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a coach. What I'm going to do is be an example in my own authenticity, because I can tell you right now, to overindulge as the creator is to imply that you are not enough. And we need more human beings to recognize that they are the source of everything they've been looking for. And so how can you do that? Well, in my book, I share more details. But here I'll share that every day, make a different choice. So if you don't like who you are today, tomorrow do something differently. And then the next day do something different. And then the next day. And it's in that conglomerate of small decisions that you're creating a bigger life. Each step is a brick. Each decision is a layer. Think of like a piece of cement. Each part of you is dying to be expressed, but you have to listen to the call. So yes, it is beautiful that you know that you are deserving of a different life. No, you are not wrong for manifesting and scripting and calling in the things. But now the universe is begging. Creation is asking. Okay, you remember that you're worth it. You remembered. But now, can you actually put actions behind that aren't overindulgent and greedy? Can you please put forth action behind that has nothing to do with anything outside of yourself? Can you sit down on that couch and let your heart break? Can you walk in front of the mirror and accept that, wow, okay, I have been manipulative. I haven't changed much internally. My external world has, because I cracked the universal code and remembered that I was a creator. That's been the truth since the dawn of time. There's a new wake-up call on the horizon. You know, we need to start living from the internal out. It's more than the beliefs. It's about the becoming. Okay? We need more people leading from the heart and not the mind, even regarding manifestation. You want to manifest something? Manifest peace in your life. Can you sit down right now, close your eyes, and see yourself in peace, at peace, without hardship? Can you see yourself safe? Can you see yourself not in fear? Can you see yourself not defending yourself? Can you see yourself not crying every week over the same partner that's disrespecting you? Can you see yourself walking in a room not anxious? Can you see yourself not hurting yourself? If you can't see that, that's what you need to start creating consciously. Not the job, not the opportunity, not the person. The universe wants you now to lead from a space that is of your best interest and requires nothing outside of you to fill that void. It never could, and it never will. And guys, with that being said, I think that's it for today's episode. I love you so much for being here, for taking the time to listen with not only an open heart, but an open mind. I know, how ironic. But everything is in tandem during this experience, mind, body, and soul. We can no longer deny where we are at currently. You know, there are spiritual people walking around thinking they're doing God's work, still operating in ego and still deeply unfulfilled. Why? Because they haven't become anything. They simply remembered something and then manipulated the universe. Now's your time to become, and this is step one, you being here. I'm a real testimony to this. If you're new here, welcome to Free Spirit Friendly, the internal travels of a magical nomad. My life is a miracle because I've taken the time to become. I'm walking a path and making decisions that most human beings can't even fathom. I dive deeper to that in my upcoming projects because you guys deserve to know what this path really looks like. But for now, this is today's lesson. And I'm truly so grateful that you were here to listen. So with that being said, guys, I love you. You can do it. Take the time to get to know yourself before you take the time to get to bend the universe. You are the universe. You are the world. So essentially, you're just manipulating yourself. No more, because you deserve better. This is just the next foundation to you remembering that. Guys, ciao for now. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.